You ever notice how danger doesn't really arrive? It leaks, bleeds, or creeps into the room long before anyone recognizes it. Most people walk through life like background NPCs, eyes down, brains on autopilot, absolutely blind to the early signals that something is about to go wrong. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Almost every disaster, ambush, or chaotic event gives you a tiny window about 30 seconds where the world quietly whispers, "Move now or pay later." Once you learn to read those whispers, you stop being the last to react and start becoming the person who's already 2 steps away from danger before anyone else even blinks. Spotting danger early isn't a superpower. It's a mix of biology, pattern recognition, and understanding how the human brain fails under stress. Your brain is wired for safety, but society trained you to override the instincts that would have saved you 1,000 years ago. Most people ignore the tingle on the back of their neck, the sudden silence in a crowd, or the stranger whose walk doesn't match their intentions. That's your competitive advantage, listening to the signals everyone else filters out. And once you know what to look for, those 30 seconds become the difference between walking away and being trapped in the middle of chaos. The first signal is something your ancestors lived by: environmental rhythm. Every place, from a grocery store to a subway station, has a natural beat. When that rhythm breaks, when a crowd suddenly stops talking, when footsteps shift pace, when street noise dips for no reason, that's your first cue. The human brain detects pattern breaks faster than it forms full thoughts, which is why you get that weird something's off feeling before you can explain it. If you train yourself to respond to that feeling instead of debating it, you move early. If the hair on your arms rises, step aside, reposition, or scan behind you. That micro movement alone often removes you from the path of whatever's about to happen. This section is based on practical field survival experience, rather than formal academic sources. Another crucial indicator is what professionals call pre-assault behavior. It's subtle, and most people miss it because they focus on what someone says, not what their body is preparing to do. Before violence or danger unfolds, the human body leaks tension. Jaw clenches, shoulders rise, eyes stop wandering and lock on a target. The chest stops moving normally because breathing becomes shallow. Someone adjusting their waistband when they haven't been running? That's often someone preparing to draw something, weapon or otherwise. People spreading their feet wider, blading their body, or repeatedly checking behind them. Your brain might not label it instantly, but your survival instincts will. If you see that shift in posture, angle your body away and widen your distance. You don't need a confrontation. You need space and time. The next sign is object fixation, what people look at when they're about to act. Before any dangerous event, people's eyes give them away. Looters glance at exit routes. An unstable person repeatedly stares at a bag, a pocket, or a doorway. In a blackout or crowd panic scenario, watch for where eyes cluster. Humans naturally look toward threats or escape paths. If you see multiple people staring in one direction even for half a second, follow their gaze. That instant cheat code gives you the same early warning ability as trained security personnel. The reason it works is simple neuroscience. The orienting reflex fires before conscious thought, so the eyes react before the body does. Another overlooked clue: silence compression. Right before something breaks loose, whether it's a fight, explosion, or crowd surge, the immediate area around you might suddenly quiet. Even machines follow this rule. Generators shift tone before failing. Fluorescent lights buzz differently before burning out. A building under structural stress produces a low-frequency rumble your brain detects even if you don't consciously hear it. Humans evolved to react to auditory anomalies because early warning meant survival. So when a room gets unnaturally quiet, don't ignore it. Look for exits, obstacles, and pressure points around you. Your brain is telling you it's time to switch from passive to alert. One of the most powerful early warning signs is spatial mismatch, when someone or something doesn't fit the environment's logic. A person dressed too warm for the weather. Someone hovering in a place with no reason to be there. A stranger walking in a direction that contradicts foot traffic. A car parked in a spot where it can't legally or logically stay. In collapse, blackout, or crisis scenarios, spatial mismatch becomes even more important. People preparing for bad actions position themselves advantageously, near corners, behind structural cover, near blind spots. If someone is choosing terrain, you should be choosing distance. Then there's behavioral lag, the delay between your brain noticing something and your conscious mind rationalizing it. Most people override their instincts because they don't want to look rude or paranoid. But in a real crisis, politeness is the predator's best friend. You have to train yourself to act the moment your instincts fire, not when you've talked yourself into believing the danger is real. If you wait for proof, you're already behind. Your goal isn't to be right, it's to not be wrong at the worst possible moment. A half step back, a shift to the side, or a casual repositioning can remove you from the center of a developing threat long before anyone else even reacts. One of the most reliable indicators is the freeze bubble. Before danger erupts, there's often a person who freezes someone who senses it before anyone else. Watch for the frozen individual. The shopper who stops walking mid-step. The commuter who stiffens unexpectedly. The bystander who suddenly clutches their bag or instinctively shields their child. They're giving you information their nervous system picked up first. Move when they freeze. Not away from them, away from where they're looking, or subconsciously leaning. Humans evolved to read each other's fear signals long before language existed. In emergencies, that ability resurfaces instantly. To strengthen this skill, you have to train your peripheral awareness, what some call soft focus. Instead of staring at your phone or narrowing your vision to one spot, let your gaze relax so you can absorb motion on the edges of your sight. Humans detect movement better in peripheral vision than direct focus because the rods in our eyes are more sensitive than our cones. That's why hunters and trackers use soft focus. It increases your detection radius without making you look hyper-alert. In urban environments, it lets you pick up micro-movements, a hand reaching where it shouldn't, a shadow shifting in a hallway, or someone stepping out of rhythm with the crowd. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. And then there's emotional bleed through the energy in a room that changes before danger escalates. Adrenaline has a rhythm. Fear has a texture. Humans broadcast their internal state through micro-expressions, breathing patterns, and body orientation. If someone near you suddenly gets anxious, looks cornered, or starts scanning frantically, they might be reacting to something you haven't spotted yet. Use them as your early alarm system. Their fear can be your head start. By now, you can see the pattern. Spotting danger 30 seconds early is about noticing what everyone else has taught themselves to ignore. Rhythm breaks, eye fixation, tension shifts, silence drops, spatial mismatches, emotional bleed. Once you weave these cues together, you no longer walk blindly into unfolding threats. You become the person who steps out of the store before the argument becomes a stabbing. You cross the street before the car speeds up. You exit the train before panic spreads. You act early, not dramatically, but decisively. Please stay connected, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to Psychologic Dose.